Hello my friends, today I want to show you how to make a super flying object. It's like a little glider airplane sort of thing. For it, you will need a piece of square paper, whatever size you want is fine. I'm using origami paper size, like the standard kind. And another sheet that is cut in half, so you have 1.5 sheets. If you don't have already square paper, remember that you can take a rectangle sheet of paper and turn it into a square fairly easily on your own. I'm gonna bring our camera up a little to give us a bit more room to work. Okay. Mine is slightly heavier than normal origami paper, but I would encourage you to try this with whatever type of paper you have around. Maybe make a couple and figure out what weight of paper makes the glider fly the best. That could be an interesting science experiment. We're going to start by creating the round part down here. So you're going to take your paper and put the nice side facing down, and then fold it on the diagonal. So bring your 2 points together and crease it really nicely. Remember, if you don't have good nails for creasing, the side of a unserrated, so not jaggedy edged, butter knife can work well if you don't have a creaser at home. Okay, do that, and then open it, turn it 90 degrees, and do the same thing the other direction. Once you have both of those creases, you're going to open it again, take your bottom point and bring it up to the center. Okay. Then you're going to unfold it again, take your bottom point and bring it up to the line you just made. Then you're going to unfold it again, and one more time, take your bottom point and bring it up to the line you just made. Right. Now you're going to fold up on the line that was already there. And then you're going to keep folding using the edge of the paper that you have as your line to tell you where to crease it at. And again, and again. Just keep folding as tight as you can, all the way until you fold past your center line that you started on. Okay, I've gone past my center line, and I'm going to go one more. I'm going to go one more because the ends here are still showing some white. You're going to keep folding until the white goes away the first time. There you go. When it looks like this, you're ready. You're going to take it and fold the edge up. If it tries to fold with like a straight corner, you're going to try and use your fingers to bend it so it makes a curve rather than a corner. This is a place where thinner paper would probably be easier, but I'm just using what I have around. Now, if you look right here, you'll see there's a little pocket, and this one has a little pocket too. You're going to take the end of one and stuff it inside the pocket of the other. And you're going to overlap them so it looks about like this. Now, you should be able to drop it at that point and it shouldn't come apart. If it comes apart, get your fingers in there and stuff it together a little bit better. Something you may want to experiment with when you're doing this on your own is how does it alter its ability to fly if you make them barely tucked in or super tucked in? When you change the diameter of the circle at the end, how does that affect the flying? For now, we're going to go with like this. Now, if you want, this little guy you just created will actually fly already. You kind of want to throw it like this with a sort of a gliding motion. However, we can make it fly even better by adding on a wing. So to add on the wing, we're going to take that half sheet you had before, and we're going to fold it into approximately thirds. This does not need to be exact at all. Don't worry about getting out a ruler. It's not a big deal. As you can see, mine don't match perfectly. I didn't get exact thirds, and that's okay. For the next step, I recommend a stapler, which means that this isn't technically origami because we're using something besides just folds to hold it together. You could also use tape if you want, or a paper clip. The open end of your glider is going to be the end that's facing towards the wind, which means that when you attach the wing, you don't want the open end of the wing facing that way, or it's going to catch the wind too. You want the closed end, the folded side of the wing, to face the curve of the circle. gonna overlap them and then just come in with a stapler and put one staple to hold it together. Okay, now you've got a little glider. It should look basically like this. When you toss it, you're gonna hold it like this and give it a little throw like that, and it should go pretty far. I could get mine to go most of the way across my front room, and that was with my first try. I'm not going to fly it because I want you to build your own and see what it's like on your own. If you decide to do any experimenting and find out variations that make this fly better, like maybe having a thinner wing flies better, maybe having a thicker wing flies better, maybe decreasing the diameter of the circle part makes it fly farther, or maybe having a bigger diameter does. What if you got a giant sheet of newspaper and folded this huge? Would it fly better or worse? How about thick paper versus thin paper? What if you put 3 paper clips here to add extra weight? Would that make it plummet to the ground, or would that actually help it fly better? If you discover anything, I would love to know. And if you want to make a whole bunch of different ones and do a test for us, you could even film a video of it to share it. Here are my 2 little gliders. They're both a little bit different. I folded my top wing into thirds, and on this one I did my top wing kind of just in half. We'll have to wait and see and find out what flies better. Let me know what you discover, and happy experimenting. Remember that when a scientist does an experiment, they only change one variable at a time. So that would mean if you wanted to test wing width, you would make 3 flyers that were identical, perfectly the same, except for the width of their wings. You wouldn't change the width of the wings and the diameter of the circle at the same time. That would not be scientific. That would be having 2 variables, 2 things that change. So you want to change only one thing at a time. After you've tested wing width and you pick one width of wing that you like, then you could go back and use the standard wing width and multiple diameters, or use the standard wing width and standard diameter and multiple weights of paper. But only change one thing at a time. Otherwise, it's not good science and your results aren't, they're interesting, but they're not scientific. Try for scientific by only changing one variable at a time. Have a good day, everyone. Bye. Happy science.